shunyavadi paschatya deshatarine Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Daimahatriyaya Mayapur Vibhur Nirmaikshati Adamusha Purusha Bhunkte Ganan Sudasa Sadasatmaka Yalankrisishta Bhagavan Vachamsi Me Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Hare Krishna. So today we are continuing to read Canto 8 of the Srimad Bhagavatam, and it's a little confusing. It says chapter 5. Did we already finish chapter 4? Yes. We finished Ganjendra's return to the spiritual world? Okay. Okay, so chapter 5 is entitled The Demigod's Appeal to the Lord. Texts 1 through 5. The demigods appeal to the Lord for protection. First 5 texts. And text 5 is on the board. So I'll just read through the first 4 texts and also the summary of the chapter. This chapter describes the 5th and 6th manus, and it also describes the prayer of the demigod and the curse of Durvasa Muni, the brother of Tamasa. The 4th manu, who has previously been described, was the 5th manu, Raivata. The sons of Raivata included Arjuna, Bali, and Vindhya. During the reign of this manu, Indra, the king of heaven, was known as Vibhu. Among the demigods were the Bhuttarayas, and among the 7 rishis were Hiranya, Rama, Vedashira, and Urdhva Bahu. The rishi known as Subra, by his wife Dikuntha, gave birth to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vaikuntha. This Supreme Personality of Godhead manifested a Vaikuntha planet at the request of Rama Devi. His power and activities are mentioned in the 3rd canto. The 6th manu was Chakshusha, the son of Chakshu Manu. Among the sons of the 6th manu were Puru, Purusha, and Sudyumna. During the reign of this manu, Mantra Druma was Indra, the king of the heavenly planets. Among the demigods were the Apyas, and among the 7 rishis were Havishman and Viraka. The wife of Vairaja, whose name was Devasambhuti, gave birth to Ajita, an incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This Ajita, taking the shape Parikshit, was very eager to hear about the churning of the ocean, and therefore Shukadeva Goswami began to explain to him how the demigods, having been cursed by Durvasa Muni, were defeated in battle by the Asuras. When the demigods were deprived of their heavenly kingdom, they went to the assembly house of Lord Brahma and informed Lord Brahma what had happened. Then Brahma, along with all the demigods, went to the shore of the ocean of milk and offered prayers to Kshirdakashaya Vishnu. So text 1. Shishuko vacha rajanuditam etante hare Karmakka Nashanam Gajendra Mokshanam Punyam Raivatam Pantaram Shinu. Shukadeva Goswami continued, O king, I have described to you the pastime of Gajendra Mokshana, which is most pious to hear. By hearing of such activities of the Lord, one can be freed from all sinful reactions. Now please listen as I describe Araivata Manu. Panchamo Araivato Nama Manustama Sasodasra Bali Yastasya Sutta Arjuna Purvakam. The brother of Tamasa Manu was the fifth Manu named Raivata. His sons were headed by Arjuna, Bali and Vindhya. Vibhurindra Suragana Rajan Bhutarayadayam Hiranyarama Vedashira Udbhabavadayo Dvijam. O king, in the millennium of Raivata Manu, the king of heaven was known as Vibhu. Among the demigods were the Bhutarayas, and among the 7 Brahmanas who occupied the 7 planets were Hiranyaroma, Vedashira and Urdhvabahu. Panti Vikunta Subrasya Vaikunta Isura Sattamai Tayosva Kalaya Jagye Vaikunta Bhagavan Svayam. From the combination of Shubra and his wife Vikunta, there appeared the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vaikunta, along with demigods who were his personal plenary expansions. Vaikunta kalpitoyena loko loka namaskrita ramaya pratyamanena devyatat priya kamyaya. Just to please, okay, this is the text we should actually chant responsibly. Something's happening. Okay. So please chant responsibly. Vaikunta kalpito yena. Vaikunta kalpito yena. Loka loka namaskrita. Loka loka namaskrita. Ramaya prataya manena. Ramaya pratya manena. Devyatat priya kamyaya. Devyatat priya kamyaya. Vaikunta kalpito yena. Loka loka namaskrita. Ramaya pratyamanana. Devyatat priya kamyaya. Please. Ladies, please. Synonyms: Vaikuntha, a Vaikuntha planet. Kalpitaha, was constructed. Yena, by whom? Lokaha, planet. Lokanamaskrita, worshipped by all people. Ramaya, by Rama, the goddess of fortune. Pratyamanena, being so requested. Devya, by the goddess. Tat, her. Priyakamyaya, just to please. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Just to please the goddess of fortune. And we can see that in Vedic culture, going around somebody or around the temple is worship. So that's why Srila Prabhupada says this Vaikuntha is worshipped by everybody, because the entire universe is rotating around this Vaikuntha planet. So whether people want it or not, they worship this Vaikuntha. And it's very interesting. This is the brightest star in the sky, right? And so it is explained here that this Vaikuntha planet was created by the Supreme Lord by the request of his wife, goddess of fortune, Rama Devi, or Lakshmi Devi. And we know very interesting story which is also described in the 4th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam in relation to Dhruva Maharaj, how this little boy became so ambitious that he wanted to have a kingdom which is greater than the kingdom of his father and grandfather as well. And his grandfather is Lord Brahma. And his kingdom is the entire universe. So it was, practically speaking, impossible to give this boy kingdom which would be greater than the entire universe. But the Supreme Lord showed practically what Srila Prabhupada mentioned, that impossible is the word which is found in Fool's Dictionary. There is nothing impossible for the Supreme Lord, and he found the solution. He gave Dhruva his own planet. We can say this is the Lord's personal office within this material universe, because it is also called Shvetadvipa. This planet has many names. And there is an ocean of milk on this planet, and the Supreme Lord, Kshirada Kashaya Vishnu, is lying within this ocean of milk in Yoga Nidra, enjoying himself. And he is also the super soul of every living entity, and he is within every atom of the universe. And the Lord gave this planet to Dhruva Maharaj. So this planet is not even under the jurisdiction of Lord Brahma, right? And so Dhruva Loka became the planet of Dhruva Maharaj. That's how the Lord found the solution. He gave him the kingdom which was even greater than the kingdom of Lord Brahma, which is very interesting. He made him the manager of his own office. You can manage it while I'm resting, and the Lord is resting all the time. So Dhruva's desire became fulfilled. And here it is explained how this Vaikuntha planet was created. But at the same time, it's explained that this Vaikuntha planet is eternal, because it is spiritual, it's not material. Only material things require creation and undergo annihilation. But spirit is eternal. At the same time, it appeared as if the Lord created this Vaikuntha planet, and Srila Prabhupada, referring to Viraragavacharya, also mentions that Srimad Bhagavatam is also eternal. But then it appears to be spoken, and actually spoken number of times. And this is a very interesting concept, which is perfectly in line with our philosophy of Achintya Bheda Abheda Tattva, that the Lord is unborn, at the same time He is taking birth. Srimad Bhagavatam is eternal, at the same time it appears that Srimad Bhagavatam was spoken at a certain point of time, and Vaikuntha is eternal, but it appears that the Lord is creating it for the pleasure of Goddess of Fortune. And we also are very fortunate by the mercy of Goddess of Fortune, by the mercy of original Goddess of Fortune, Srimati Radharani, because we are in Sridham Mayapur, in Navadvip, which, as we know, was also created by the Supreme Lord on the request of Srimati Radharani, because she wanted to enjoy a very special place. And then, of course, we know, in Kali Yuga the Lord appeared in the mood of Srimati Radharani as Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu in this very special abode. And we also know that at a certain point of time, the birthplace of Lord Chaitanya was lost, right? So the vision was covered. And then, by the mercy of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, it was rediscovered again, so we can say that, actually it was covered by the Ganga, right? So there was nothing happening in here. And so this is what's happening in this material world with all eternal abodes of the Lord, such as Navadvip or Vrindavan. We know the same thing happened. To Vrindavan it was covered by the dense forest, and then Lord Chaitanya sent his associate six Goswamis to discover Vrindavan, rediscover it again. And so it was just jungle, so we can say that Vrindavan was created by the six Goswamis, by their efforts. At the same time, it is eternal place. And Srila Prabhupada also mentions in one of the purposes of Srimad Bhagavatam, there are many holy places of the Lord's pastimes, not only in India. Of course, we know that India is full of holy places. I mean, you travel around India, you will definitely bump into something holy. Everything is holy. So many, and one holy place more amazing than the other. It's like unbelievable holy places and unbelievable, we can say, artifacts, etc. in different holy places, which are very hard to explain by, any kind of logic and reason. You just have to believe it. Like in South India, there is a temple where they display a stone which is floating on the water, and they say that this is the stone which was used for constructing Rama Setu. But then, and it's all filmed on YouTube, some people are expressing doubts. Maybe, there is a kind of stone which is very light, and it can actually float on the surface of the water. It's lighter than the water. But then, and the man says, maybe this is very light stone, that's why it's floating. And then priest is taking the stone out of the water and gives this man in his hand to weight. And this is very heavy stone. But still it floats on the water. Like that. And there are so many other things. Okay, just been to Vrindavan less than a month ago, and one shopkeeper in there next to MBT, he has Gopal Diti, and his Gopal Diti still drinks milk every morning. And Diti is very small, and then he is showing, he says, you can make this Gopal drink milk, so you can put milk to Gopal's mouth, and then the milk is finished. The spoon is dry. And everyone can see that. So there are so many amazing things happening, and which is the proof that this land, Bharatvarsha, is the holiest land on the entire planet. And that's why it's not that other places, we know that outside of India there are hardly any holy places at the moment, right? Very, very few. It's not that they do not exist, but they are just covered by the influence of Kali Yuga. There are many, many holy places of the Lord's pastime on the earth. And then Srila Prabhupada says, by the power of Sankirtan movement, these holy places will be uncovered again and will be restored. And we can see how it's happening, for example, here in Navadvip, right? That there are so many places which have been discovered since Srila Prabhupada got this land, and since devotees came here. There are so many holy places already discovered. And so this is the process that, in a sense, what we are doing, we are following the request of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is, even though he is Krishna himself, but he is in the mood of Srimati Radharani, who is the compassion personified. And so that's why she wants every living entity to become Krishna conscious. And that's why Lord Chaitanya wants all of us to help him to spread Krishna consciousness movement all over the world and help not only rediscover lost places of pilgrimage, lost places of Lord's pastimes, but also help people to rediscover themselves as devotees. And this is the vision of advanced devotees. One time I was talking to one devotee in America who was very enthusiastic about preaching and spreading the movement. And he actually came from Russia, moved from Russia to New York, and then he started prasadam distribution, some other programs. And then I was asking him, how does he feel? And he said, it's so ecstatic to be in the place where 18 million devotees reside. And I was like, not only me, but other devotees were confused. Where are the 18 million devotees? And then he clarified, he said, of course, not many of these 18 million devotees know yet that they are devotees, but we are privileged to help them to remember that they are Krishna's devotees. So this is the devotees' enthusiasm. that devotee is seeing everyone as a devotee and is helping people to regain their devotional consciousness by so many other by so many means, because this is what Krishna consciousness means. That seeing beyond the gross and subtle material manifestations and perceiving the eternal spiritual nature. Vidya vinaya sampane brahmane gavihistimi shuni chaiva svapakecha pandita samadarshana. So devotee, advanced devotee, one who is truly realized, is seeing the spiritual nature of every living being. And, how do you depict that? One of the VVT artists made a painting illustrating that verse, and it was, kind of devotee looking at elephant, at the dog eater, cow, brahmana, and then he's seeing the kind of light emanating from the chest level. But this is very kind of simplistic way. It's not that once we become advanced we will see that there is light emanating from everybody's chest. Yeah. It's not exactly like that. But what we will see the spiritual nature of everybody. That means we will see devotional potential in every living being, especially in human beings, right? Because as Krishna explains in the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, that of all the forms of life, the human life is the most dear to me, because only in human life, as we can understand, one can develop one's relationship with the Supreme Lord. And so this is the vision of a devotee. Devotee is the one who is seeing everyone as potential devotee. And Srila Prabhupada was also explaining that. There is one class where in Srila Prabhupada explains what does it mean to be a guru. He said, guru means that I don't think that I am a guru. You think I am a guru, but I don't think I am a guru. I am thinking that all of you are my gurus, addressing his disciples. And my service is to serve you and prepare you and train you up to act in that role as a guru. And in one class, Srila Prabhupada said, he was explaining Varnashram and how the Brahmanas are the top of the human society, and because they deliver spiritual knowledge to everyone, and the bottom of the human society are Shudras, basically those people who are employed. And one boy challenged Srila Prabhupada. He said, because you're delivering spiritual knowledge, we can understand you're a guru, so you're the first class man. And Prabhupada was saying that, Brahmanas are the first class people and Shudras are fourth class people. And unfortunately in Kali Yuga, most of the people are fourth class, or even lower than that. And then this boy was saying, from your class we can understand that you are the first class man, right? And we can also understand that we are fourth class men. And so what you're trying to say that you are, so much higher than us, right? This is what you want us to understand, right? And Srila Prabhupada said, no, I have no claims. Actually, I'm not the first class. I'm not even fourth class. I belong to the fifth class, because I'm serving those who belong to the fourth class. Which was true. We know that when Srila Prabhupada just came, he was, cooking for the hippies and all kind of strange characters, and feeding them with his own hands, like Gargamuni Prabhu, very interesting, when he is giving class. Extreme fortune, we can't just imagine. He said, did you ever get prasadam from Srila Prabhupada's own hands? Did Prabhupada ever fed you? And of course devotees are saying, of course not. And he said, Prabhupada was feeding me personally. He was cooking for me, he was feeding me. It's amazing. And Srila Prabhupada was doing all this, and even cleaning after people, after all these people, right? So he was literally serving everybody. And this is the position of Vaishnava. Sometimes there is a debate whether Vaishnavas where Vaishnavas have to be exclusive or inclusive. Right? Very hot debate. But actually, again, it's Achintya Beda Beda Tattva. That Vaishnava's mentality is inclusive because they see everyone as potential devotees, and they're trying to bring up that devotion in everybody. They try to fan the spark, as Srila Prabhupada was saying, right? And because Vaishnavas treat everyone as spirit soul, and spirit soul is very dear to Krishna, because Vaishnavas deliver Krishna's love to everybody, they are very dear to everyone. Like one disciple of Srila Prabhupada was very surprised that Srila Prabhupada was treated with so much affection and love. And he asked Srila Prabhupada, how come that everyone loves you so much? Very surprising. And Prabhupada said, it's very simple, because I love everybody. And so this is the position of a devotee. Devotee treats everyone with love because he understands that everyone is part and parcel of Krishna. And that's why everybody loves a devotee. And so by his inclusive attitude, by his inclusive mentality, devotee gains exclusive position. But if someone claims the devotional status and wants to be exclusive, then we can understand it's just pride, and pride is not very much appreciated. And so, interestingly enough, if we prematurely start claiming ourselves to be exclusive, then we are running into the risk of being excluded from the realm of devotional service. So that's a very important consideration for all of us. Because the whole purpose or the whole foundation of our spiritual development is how much do we please Srila Prabhupada as pure representative of Krishna. And of course there are so many devotees who have so many opinions of what Srila Prabhupada really wanted, how he wanted, and devotees are ready to do all kinds of crazy things to each other to prove their love for Srila Prabhupada, which is very strange. Love Srila Prabhupada and hate so many of Srila Prabhupada's followers. This is very strange kind of attitude, and we can understand that it's completely incongruent, right? There are people like that who say that, Srila Prabhupada was so great that he failed to make anyone into proper devotee. Right? Unfortunate illusion. And nevertheless, Srila Prabhupada made it very easy for all of us to understand what did he really wanted, right? Because upon registering the society, he made it very, very explicit. 7 purposes of ISKCON, right? Crystal clear. And it's very interesting that the very first purpose of ISKCON is extremely inclusive. That I found practically nobody at all who would not support this purpose, which is to systematically propagate spiritual knowledge to society at large and teach all people the techniques of spiritual life in order to check the imbalance of values in life and achieve real unity and peace in the world. Right? This is what Srila Prabhupada expected Krishna consciousness movement to accomplish. Achieve real unity and peace in the world by spiritual knowledge and spiritual practices, and help all people to solve every single problem they have. And so, if we act according to this purpose, we can understand that we are pleasing Srila Prabhupada, and then achievement of all other purposes becomes very natural. Because if you help people to solve their problems, practically speaking, not just, preaching to them, but actually helping them, acting within everybody's interest, because, as very interestingly pointed out in the preface or introduction to Krishna book, George Harrison was saying, everybody is looking for Krishna. So Krishna is the most attractive object in everyone's life, and if we're really Krishna conscious, we can make Krishna very attractive and help people, present Krishna consciousness to people in such a way that they would be attracted, and it would really help them in their lives, and of course will help them to appreciate devotees' input. And this is what Srila Prabhupada really wanted. He wanted everyone to become Krishna conscious. He wanted every single person on the planet appreciate Krishna and appreciate devotees, right? Love Krishna and appreciate devotees, and of course, if we do anything in this direction, it will be very pleasing to Srila Prabhupada. Alright, we'll stop here if anyone has.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you very much for a very nice class. My question is in relation to the point you made, that there seems to be a conflict amongst devotees between inclusivity and exclusivity.
Mm-hmm.
That a devotee is all-inclusive. He shows his affection to everyone. So I'm trying to understand, how do we balance that with the fact that there are elements, because this is Kali Yuga, there are elements who may try to destroy, create some problems within the community of devotees.
Mm-hmm.
So how should devotees react to such elements without at the same time becoming too exclusive and too averse to allowing anyone new to enter the circles? Like being open to new ideas, but at the same time not allowing the essential principles of Krishna consciousness to be destroyed and watered down. How do we balance that?
Well, first thing which is important is that Krishna consciousness can never be destroyed from outside, of the movement, as Srila Prabhupada was saying. Nothing can stop us from outside, but only from inside of the movement we can be stopped. And that's why, criticism, blasphemy, fault-finding are, of course, the best tools. And we know, unfortunately, that there are few people who claim to be part of the movement. They are systematically attempting to assassinate character of practically every leader in the movement, criticizing and blaspheming leaders of the movement, because of course if you assassinate leaders' character, then followers will be lost, etc. Cursing leaders. Of course, Srila Prabhupada was saying that it's very similar to vultures cursing the cow, grazing the cow. Vulture is flying above the cow's head and cursing the cow to die, and vulture is continuing to curse the cow until vultures dies, and the cow continues grazing. So nothing's happening, but this tendency for blasphemy and fault-finding of the leaders of the movement is very contagious. And of course we can blame it all on Kali Yuga's influence, but it is important to note one interesting point, that there are forces outside of the movement which dream to see the movement stopped. Of course it will never happen, but nevertheless they make a lot of attempts in that regard. Of course they cannot do anything, but they can damage individual spiritual lives of immature devotees, though, by these attempts. And there are people who are dressed as devotees and they act as devotees, but they are not real devotees. I mean, they never even plan to become devotees, because there are some implanted characters in the movement. And I know it for a fact because I came across these facts. I was traveling with one spiritual master, not mine, but somebody else's spiritual master, assisting him in Russia. And we came to one temple, and temple president told him that there is one devotee who is candidate, who is aspiring to get initiated by yourself, but this devotee has a little bit of a strange history. And this devotee was, we were wondering, what is this strange history? And temple president explained that he was not really a devotee, but he was implanted by KGB into ashram to report on us. And so he was staying in ashram and reporting on everything we were doing. But after a while, he became so influenced by the devotee association that he decided to become a devotee. And then he dropped out of the KGB. And of course, spiritual master said it's not a problem, it doesn't matter how one joined. Main thing is that he became a devotee, etc. So he can, be my aspiring disciple. But, it's not the only instance in the movement. There are plenty of instances in the movement all over the world wherein, certain people are supplanted into the movement by different bodies who either want to control the movement or destroy it from inside, because this is the best way, according to Srila Prabhupada. And, it's not a secret, everybody knows it. And so, we're not saying that everyone who is blasting leaders and, criticizing is some kind of secret agent or something. Because there are, devotees who have been, upset for whatever reasons, mistreated, rightly or wrongly, and they take to that course of action as well. But, we have to be careful. Devotees, they might not be even devotees. They, might be there for purpose, for good reason, amongst the devotees. So we have to be careful about this association.
Sorry, Maharaj, I have a follow-up question in regards to the point. So, how should one deal in a devotional way with someone that perceived to be such a person? Because you say there are persons, so if someone identifies such a person, what is the best way to address the situation, so it doesn't create...
Well, Srila Prabhupada advises in our books that if someone is envious of the Vaishnavas and criticizes and blasphemes Vaishnavas, the best way is to avoid, just to ignore that person. That he cannot... Yeah, it's a serious test for many devotees, because, envy and blasphemy can be very contagious for immature devotees, but, it's test from Krishna, so you cannot really stop it. But we can just ignore it.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Welcome.
Oftentimes we see that such persons, as you mentioned, a few of them might be aware, but the majority might not be aware that Maya has hijacked them, and they just become possessed by their self-proclaimed jihad or crusade against whoever or whatever, and they make it their life's mission without realizing that we already have a mission, and that mission is the one mission that is actually successful, and all other missions are just a distraction or creating an anachronism. So can you say something how we can safeguard from falling sway to this separatist mentality, even in the name of doing one's own project, or in the name of proving to others that this is the right way of how to do things? So we know there is individuality and there is unity. So what is the balancing factor between them? Because it seems that too much stress on unity and too much stress on individuality are both detrimental.
Yes, it is true. That if we stress too much on unity without individuality, we become blind followers. And if we stress on individuality without unity, we become separatists. So thank you for bringing up this point. Both things have to be there. And so we have to be individuals.
Or have to be avoided.
Huh?
Both things have to be avoided.
Well, yeah. Extremes have to be avoided, yeah. So we have to be at the same time individuals, as Prabhupada was saying, independently thoughtful, and use our independently thoughtful nature to benefit. That Srila Prabhupada was really stressing the importance of devotee qualities, and sometimes devotees think along the lines of one merchant from Vrindavan, whose business motto is very simple: nice dhoti, nice devotee. But of course we know it's a joke, that nice dhoti or even nicely painted tilak on the forehead does not necessarily make us into nice devotees. But nice devotee means one who is positively contributing to Srila Prabhupada's mission, one who is dedicating his life to serve Krishna, Guru and Vaishnavas. So if we find a way to manifest our individuality in such a way that we positively contribute, to serve Guru, Krishna and Vaishnavas, I believe that's how we can balance both individuality and unity. But if we do something destructive, going on a crusade or jihad, as you mentioned. Of course, this is completely against the principles of devotional service. Devotees are never acting in such a way, or at least not supposed to be acting in such a way. It's completely counter indicated in Srila Prabhupada's books.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
A couple little stories. Two CIA agents tried to infiltrate in Los Angeles many years ago. And it didn't work very well because they had to get up so early, take cold showers, dance and chant, and they blooped real fast. They blooped. And Prabhupada was asked one time, why are you establishing all these temples outside India? Because India's got enough holy places, like you said. He says, well, I'm re-establishing temples that were there before. Srila Prabhupada Ji Jai.
Right. Yes, at the same time, it's a reminder that, if someone is acting in a very inimical or negative way, we should not start hating these people. We can just understand that they are unfortunate victims of material energy, just avoid their association. Isolate them. Isolate yourself from these people. All right. Microphone. Okay. Lakshmi Maniman. Yeah, sorry.
I was just thinking that the tendency to be separatist, especially when it's mixed with the tendency to tear other people apart, is born of a lack of humility, which is the primary quality of a devotee. And in order to be successful, you need to do something, not just talk about it. You need to produce a benefit for the society, for people in general, so that people become enlightened and enthusiastic. But I often wonder, and maybe you can help me understand, because I still can't understand how people think that by causing confusion and despair in other devotees, they're actually assisting Srila Prabhupada. That they're because the result of their behavior is obvious, and yet they continue to do that which has a negative ramification.
Yeah. I mean, we can easily understand it, but they cannot understand it themselves because they fully believe that this is how they serve Srila Prabhupada by, blasting his followers and causing so much havoc in the movement, in the minds of new devotees. But apparently Krishna is the ultimate authority, and if he is allowing these things to happen, so my impression that he wants only very serious people in the movement now, and so those people who can be unaffected by this poison and still become devotees despite of all this, they can be very, very powerful devotees, and they can do a lot. They would be from the start immune towards all this negativity, envy, and criticism, and so they can do a lot of positive work.
Just another story of an incognito. Their parents hired people to take their children out of the Hare Krishna movement by different methods. So in Montreal, one deprogrammer dressed up, and what happened was people offered obeisances to him, and he didn't know what to do with that. So it only lasted a few hours, and then he was gone. I mean, he didn't know how to cope with, because in the West, no one bows down to anybody else. Bowing down is unheard of.
Interesting. Thank you for sharing. Interesting story. All right, I think we are meant to stop the class now, so I'm sorry if someone couldn't make a comment or ask you a question. But individually, I'll be happy to talk to you. Thank you. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande.